Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and a new video. As said last time, we're going to be installing the floor today in the T5 plus a couple of other bits. So let's get to it, get looking at the flooring and see what we need to do. So looking at the floor of the T5, we have these raised ribs. This is the highest part that the board will sit on. We also have these recessed areas, and there's quite a few of these all through the van. What we can do is put some 9mm ply into these recesses, which will make it level with these high ribs. That will give us a much more substantial surface for the board to live on, and also enables us to be able to screw through the ply floor into those 9mm battens. That way we don't have to drill through the metal floor. So we're going to take some measurements and then we'll get some pieces cut to live in these recesses. So I've got some measurements for some pieces that I want. I've got some 9mm offcuts and bits and pieces in the workshop here, so I'll get those cut and we can get them fitted in the van. So it's out with the track saw and jigsaw to get those pieces cut. We can then get those pieces laid out onto the floor, into position, ready for the next step. Now we've got our battens laid out, we can get them secured to the floor. Let's take a look. So here's the battens laid out. Gives us a nice substrate to be able to lay our flooring, take out any bounce, and gives us the ability to screw through the floor into these instead of screwing into the van floor, which is what we want to avoid. So next up, we're going to use a construction sealant adhesive, glue these battens down, and then let that go off for a couple of hours, then start looking at getting the flooring. So this construction sealant adhesive is called OB1. This is available from places such as Toolstation and B&Q. Once those battens are set, we can then get to laying in the double-sided foil bubble wrap here. Once the foil bubble wrap is laid and stuck down with the Trim Fix spray adhesive, I then go and tape seal the edges with aluminium tape. The foil bubble wrap laid down, and we've also tape sealed the edges and any joints. So let's take a look at it. So here it is, double-sided foil bubble wrap. It's not an insulator as such. There is very small insulating properties in this. It is more acting as a vapor barrier. So it's stopping that moisture getting up from underneath and penetrating your flooring when it's installed. So the reflective surfaces do serve a bit of a purpose. It's going to be able to help control the temperature in the van by keeping heat in, but also it's going to assist in keeping heat out from heat and damp coming from underneath. So this is installed now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the boards in. This edge here will all be tidied up, I've not finished here because of the mat and everything in the way, but I'm going to get the boards in now. I'm going to lay the floor out and then see if we've got the discrepancies we've got and what I need to think about when we're going to lay the outro. So let's get those boards in. So that's the floor laid down. Couple of bits. Probably just need a bit of a investigation. That there may be a problem for me when we lay the floor. Tucked in nicely in the corners. The arches are looking good. Round here is looking nice. This may be a bit close here. Getting the deeper step into these clips might be a bit of fun. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. I've got a bit of a thing going on here, but all in all not too bad. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark the board. So the outro flooring I've got is from Harrison Trim Supplies. It's a pre-cut floor for a T5 short wheelbase. The important thing is to know is that it is an overcut piece of flooring. It's not going to be cut to the shape of this plyboard, probably not cut to the shape of yours. The only thing is pre-cut, and it will have an inch or so, maybe more in places, all the way around. So I'm going to mark on this board now where I've got discrepancies, because I can then roll out my outro flooring on its back. I can then flip this and lay it onto the board, add any discrepancies, and then bring the flooring in and fit it afterwards near perfect. Well, that's the plan anyway, because I don't know if anyone's cut outro flooring. It's tough on the blades, it's tough on the scissors, and you can go very wrong very quickly with it because of its rigidity even after warming up. So that's the floor. I'm happy with it. I'm just going to get a pen, mark on the board where I've got some discrepancies that I'm thinking of. I think that is the only two actually, which is nice. My only two concerns are here and over there, because I want this flooring to come into this and out here, and the same in that corner. Even though you're never going to see it, I want to know that it's gone right into that corner over there. So let's get some marking. Okay, so if I just put a rectangle or a 90 degree on here, I know that's telling me that from there I want to go up and I want to come square across, so this will finish underneath. This is going to be covered by the step, so I'm not too concerned about that bit. It's just this part. So marking that there with an arrow, there we go. I know I want that squared off. So that's that side. So here also, I probably want to add about 15mm in that corner and come in about 10mm on these. So hopefully the flooring will end up into the back. I mean, it's never going to be, it's probably never going to be seen. I've got the the Van Project 77 U-shaped units coming in here. So it's got a kitchen unit and then it's got a U-shaped seating. So that's going to be underneath a cupboard. You know, it's not going to be on view, but at the same time we still want to make it nice. So looking around, maybe the same here, from sort of here around to here. I want to add another 5mm to the floor, to the Altro flooring before I cut it, to make sure that it's right in there. And the same here. I'm going to add in 15mm into this corner, so I know that's going to finish up nicely on the floor. So now it's time to roll out our new Altro flooring and get those boards laid on. Okie dokie, so what I've done is I've laid the flooring out on its back, I've laid the ply out on its back also, squared up to where I'm happy that all of the ply is covered, and I can now look to address the concerns that I showed you in the previous clip regarding where gaps may be. So as you see here, I've now transferred the same details that I wanted to the back side of this board. So I know now when I want to cut this out, from this point round to this point, I want to add a 15mm line and cut that there, rather than straight to the board. Same here, 5mm gap in there, and this corner over here. So what I'm trying to do is give myself the best end presentation I can. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out, a lot of the times it does. So what we'll do now is I'll draw around this with a Sharpie, add in my pieces, and then go in with a Stanley knife and a straight edge where I can, cut this out. Let's just have a look at this Altro flooring. So this is Altro Walkway. It's the only flooring I use, and I've used it now for the last probably 5 years for this style of floor. If I want a wood effect safety flooring, then I'll use the Tarkit Safe Tread. But for this kind of stipply effect flooring, I will use Altro Walkway only. So the flooring itself it's got metal embedded in it, or for what I believe is metal anyway, because looking at the state of the blade after a cut, you can see that the end's getting rounded off as it's working through the flooring, and you can see the score lines there as well. This was a fresh blade, and I've cut out the floor, and that's what I'm left with. So obviously that blade's scrap now, but the material itself, it is hard wearing. You know, I can stab it, smash it up, and generally, other than a few score marks, it will leave you with the presentable flooring still. So this is Altro safety flooring. This is the Walkway version. They do two versions. I get this from Harrison Trim Supplies. I'll leave a link in the description below for it, and go check it out. They've got lots of colours, and also check out the Target safety flooring as well if you want that wood panelling style kind of farmhouse look. But yeah, good stuff. Okay, now of course I don't know where my battens are now for when I want to screw down my new floor into those battens we put in. So what I will be doing is adding bits of tape as reference. I've also got pictures as well, so I know there's a rib across here, a couple down there, one either side of this, up down these arches, in the corners. You know, I'm not trying to put the floor down so it will never come up again. I'm not trying to put 100 screws in it. I'm trying to keep the floor as level as possible and the join between the two pieces as level as possible, because the flooring that goes in will show everything and anything. The smallest of tiniest of stones will get picked up in the floor, so we need to make sure that the floor is super clean. So what I'll do is I'll just go around and reference particularly just that end. This end I'm not worried about, you know. I know I've got the battens, but if I just mark like that, when I put the floor in, I know down there I can just put a screw. I'm going to do the same here, in the corners, up the ribs, etc. So when we go with the screws, I'm using a 2mm drill bit, then I'm using the bit end of the screwdriver to bore out a bit of a hole so the screw is countersunk. I'm then using a 4x20mm screw, which is plenty long enough to give us good traction into the battens and to keep the floor down. So now we can get our flooring in finally. I've hoovered and swept the floor. I've made sure there's nothing in it, so that when we lay it out, we can have a perfectly flat finish without any imperfection. Okay, bit of fiddling to do, but it's not bad. I've got to get this under this panel. Here we're quite nice. Down that back side, I'm happy with that. Down this side, I'm happy with that. This I need to get under here, so a bit of jiggery, the same as that corner. But yeah, so this is the Altro flooring. Regards sticking it down, so I use the Trim Fix spray adhesive, and the only part I'm going to stick down is kind of this area, because this is where you walk, you know, and just the back edge, so I can cut square off with the ply there. The reason being is this is going to be under units. The U-shaped seating is all going to be here. No point me sticking it down. I just want to maybe stick the middle part and the area we're going to walk on with traffic, and that's really the only concerning part. But yes, let's get on with the next step. So with any project build, progress is still progress no matter how slow it is. Let's take a look at the T5. We finally have the flooring. Okay, well that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Do subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Speaking of the next one, let's have a look.